Welcome to Behind the Fame, Episode 5. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. is one of the most talented and charismatic actors in Hollywood history. Born on April 4, 1965, in Manhattan, New York, he rose to fame in the 1980s as a promising young actor. However, his journey was far from smooth. He faced years of personal struggles, addiction, and legal issues. But against all odds, Robert made one of the greatest comebacks in the entertainment industry, becoming the face of one of the most successful film franchises in history, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Robert Downey Jr. was born to filmmaker Robert Downey Sr. and actress Elsie Ann. Growing up in a creative but unconventional household, Robert was exposed to the world of cinema from an early age. His father gave him a small role in a film when he was only 5 years old. Unfortunately, his childhood was also marked by exposure to drugs. His father, who struggled with addiction himself, allowed young Robert to use marijuana at a very early age, a decision that would deeply affect his future. Downey moved to California with his father after his parents divorced. He eventually dropped out of high school to pursue acting full-time. In the 1980s, he began gaining recognition through roles in films like Weird Science and Less Than Zero, where he portrayed a drug-addicted teenager, a role that mirrored his real-life struggles. In 1992, he received critical acclaim and an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for his role as Charlie Chaplin in Chaplin. His performance was widely praised and showcased his extraordinary talent. Despite his growing success, Robert's life was spiraling out of control due to drug addiction. Between 1996 and 2001, he was arrested several times for drug possession and was in and out of rehab and prison. Studios were reluctant to hire him, and his career suffered. At one point, he was considered unreliable and too much of a risk to work with. During these years, he lost many job opportunities and struggled to stay clean. But even in his darkest moments, his talent never disappeared. Friends, family, and fans hoped he would one day recover. Robert began turning his life around in the early 2000s. After years of treatment, therapy, and the support of his wife, Susan Downey, he achieved sobriety. His comeback began with small roles, slowly regaining the trust of the film industry. Everything changed in 2008 with the release of Iron Man, directed by Jon Favreau. Marvel took a risk by casting Robert as Tony Stark, and it paid off beyond anyone's expectations. Downey's portrayal of the billionaire genius with a troubled past felt authentic, perhaps because it mirrored his own life. Iron Man launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Robert Downey Jr. became the face of it for over a decade. He starred in multiple blockbuster films, including the Avengers series and Avengers: Endgame, which became one of the highest-grossing films of all time. Beyond the screen, Robert is a dedicated father and husband. He's been married to Susan Downey since 2005, and they have 2 children together. He credits her with being one of the most important influences in his recovery. Robert Downey Jr.'s story is not just one of fame and fortune. It is a story of resilience, redemption, and the power of transformation. From being nearly forgotten by Hollywood to becoming one of its biggest stars, he has inspired millions with his journey. Robert Downey Jr.'s legacy is built not only on his incredible acting but also on his ability to rise after falling. He showed the world that it is never too late to change, to grow, and to make a comeback. As Iron Man once said, "Part of the journey is the end." But for Robert Downey Jr., the end of one chapter was just the beginning of something greater.